Guys, what's up? It's Darkmech here and welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing a UI video. So I've made two UI videos in the past that are pretty much the exact same thing and nobody appears to watch them. And then I get questions in the comments all the time about what add-ons do I use and UI stuff and all that. So I'm making a third one in the hopes that people will actually watch it. So today I am going to do it a little bit differently from my last UI videos because maybe they sucked and that's why no one watches them. But I'm going to stick really to core specific add-ons to what you see on the screen. So I'm not going to talk about any quality of life add-ons or any cool little things or anything like that. I'm just going to talk about what add-ons you see on the screen because I figure that's where I'm getting all my questions about. So that's obviously what people want to know about. So my UI is pretty much made up of four main components: ElvUI, WeakAuras, Details, and Elcano's buff bars. That is pretty much what you can see on my screen. So I'm going to go through them one by one, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown in them. I'm going to show you how to import and export ElvUI profiles, WeakAuras. I'm going to give you a rundown of Elcano's buff bars, and I'm going to show you Details. So getting straight into this, guys, ElvUI. ElvUI is these unit frames, these action bars, the mini map up here. This is all ElvUI. ElvUI is just a skin that goes over the Blizzard UI and pretty much replaces everything. So these unit frames, often the question I get the most is how do I get portraits to look like that? So in the description you will find downloads for every single thing that you need. So what you'll first need to do is download ElvUI from Tuki and install that. Now once you have downloaded ElvUI, you've come into game, you will run through a setup on that. Get through all that, then what you're going to do is press /EC. It's going to bring up the ElvUI menu. Now, if you want to skip all the setup and things like that, and you just want to have my ElvUI, you can totally do that. Skip all that, press /EC to bring up this menu. You're going to come down to Profiles here. You're going to click Import Profile. In the Pastebin link in the description, you'll find every class I have for all their ElvUI exports. You can copy the big wall of text. You come in here, you paste it in the import profile, you hit import now, close, and your ElvUI will look exactly like this. It will even say Darkmech here. To change that, /EC, come to unit frames, drop this down, go to player frame, come over here where it says health, drop this down to name, and type your name in here and press enter. It's that simple and away you go. Now, if you don't want to do any of that and you want to customize it yourself, full kudos to you. /EC will bring up your menu. You've gone through your setup. If you hit toggle anchors, this will allow you to move things around so you can simply click on them and drag them. Once you hit lock, it locks them into place wherever you've put them. As I said, the biggest question I always get is about these profiles. So coming back to unit frames, if you go to player frame, you come to this drop down and you go to portrait. Generally yours will look like this. They will be grey as well, they won't be green. If you come to portrait and you hit enable, you'll get this side portrait. If you hit overlay, it will overlay it or underlay it or whatever you would like to call underlay yipa. It'll put it under the frame. Now that's your player frame. If you want to do the target frame, you have to do the exact same again on your target frame. Portrait, make sure it's enabled, make sure it's got overlay on. You can change the rotation of the model in the camera distance, the width, the height of the frame, all that kind of stuff. You can do it on your focus frame, whatever you would like to do it on, that's how you do it. Now in terms of the colors, because ElvUI is gray or a class color when you start off, if you come to unit frames and you scroll down, you can see these are all the colors. If you click on health, you'll be able to change the health to whatever color you want. Same as energy, mana, health backdrops, everything like that, guys. It's really highly customizable. It looks really daunting, but it's actually really easy. The best thing about if you want to start off with my profile as a base as well, if you fuck it up, all you need to do is re-import that profile again and you can start from scratch, or you can start from this sort of benchmark again and do what you want with it. Now action bars wise, in terms of finding out what bars are what, if you hit toggle anchors, you can see action bar 1, action bar 2, action bar 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's how you can tell which action bars you've got. Now in terms of if you go to bar 1, you can see how many, you can choose how many buttons to have on there. If you want 10, 11, 12. If you wanted to make them vertical, all you need to do is bring the buttons down to 1, and then buttons per row is going to expand out. That should be working. Hold on. If I go 1 and then I expand it out, then it'll work, sorry. So buttons per row, we want 1 row of buttons and we want 12 buttons up. So if I wanted to make vertical buttons, that's what I'd do that. I'd toggle anchors and I'd move it to wherever I wanted to do. But I want 10 buttons, or 12 buttons per row, sorry, and I want to have 10 buttons for my setup here. The micro bar, you've got everything on here, guys. So everything is on the standard interface with all your action bars. ElvUI has the same. There is a plugin which is also in the description as well, which will give you an extra 4 action bars up to 10 as well. For key bindings, all you need to do is click on action bars, go to keybind mode, hover over the key that you are selecting, and you put the, so I've got, let's look at Blood Drink. I've got Blood Drinker bound to Shift 3. If I hit Escape on that, it now has no bind. If I wanted to make it, I'm going to make it Shift 3 again. So I hover over it, I hit Shift, I hit 3, I click on it, it's now bound to Shift 3. I've got character specific ones on, so when I change characters, those binds don't follow me to all these same positions, and I can hit save, and that's it. So really easy to bind your keys and things like that. Data texts and things like that, so on your panels, so your chat panels, which you can't see because it's covering the camera, on your left chat you can have anything you want. So I've got like system, durability, and gold. You can have your armor, your how full your bags are, if you're in combat, currency, DPS, whatever the fuck you like. You can have it all there. I've got up on my mini map, I've got the time, and I've got how many friends I've got logged on and things like that. So there's some real quality of life things through that. Even though I said I wasn't going to talk about quality of life add-ons, it's tied into ElvUI, so it's okay. ElvUI comes with a full bag function as well, so it's just one entire bag, which is really good as well. You don't need a separate add-on for that. And that's pretty much it, guys. That is the real quick rundown on ElvUI. It's a fantastic UI setup. It's highly customizable, as I said, and I really, really like it. And all my profiles for every class are available for import if you like them as well. So moving on from ElvUI, which is sort of the start of my base of my add-on, let's look at WeakAuras. So what are WeakAuras? WeakAuras are pretty much ways to track buffs, uptime, debuffs, trinket procs, diseases, whatever you would like. So if I start off attacking this dummy here, you can see I get a new selection of buttons on my screen. I can't click on them though, they're just WeakAuras, they're just notifications. So this large one here is telling me that I have Marrowrend available, but it's not up on the target yet. So if I hit Marrowrend, it now shows me that Marrowrend's on the target for 30 seconds. This shows me how long my bone shield has and how many stacks, and it's just built into the WeakAura, and I have never got rid of it. This is what I really use here though. This shows me I've got 8 stacks of bone shield, and I've got 30 seconds remaining on it. So this is the one that I really use, and I could probably get rid of this. I just like that it's a nice little neat row, and I haven't. For Death and Decay, if I drop Death and Decay, this is thanks to SCO. This is a bar that shows me green if I'm standing in it, red if I'm not. I want to be standing in it for rapid decomposition, so that's the use of that. If I run out of it, I also get this notification that shows me that I'm not standing in it. My Blood Boil here, you can see I've got 2 charges. If I hit Blood Boil, it'll show me the recharge rate for this charge here, and it'll show me how many charges I've got. When D&D procs, I get a glowing little D&D logo, and I can use it like that. This will show me what my heal is. This will show me what my blood shield is on me at the moment. Same as if I use a big cooldown. If I use Vamp Blood, you can see Vamp Blood comes up here and shows me the cooldown. This is an add-on called Big Debuffs. The good thing about Big Debuffs is it works with everything, so not just class-specific abilities to use. So that's why I have that there. And installing that, which is in the description, will just come up right next to your screen. Like if I activate Icebound, it'll just come up there. Same as Icebound coming up here. This shows me I've got no Blood Plague on my target, so if I put Blood Plague on it, it shows me the time of Blood Plague that's on it, my runic power, and all that kind of stuff. And this is Soul Drinker to show me what percentage extra of health I'm actually getting at the moment. So I get 24% extra health at the moment. So they're WeakAuras, guys. You need WeakAuras for every single class you play on. It's not sort of one set of WeakAuras follows you across every class you have and adapts to those abilities. So you can see on the screen now the number of different classes I've got and how the WeakAuras look different, and they're all available in the Pastebin. I haven't made, I've tweaked a couple of these WeakAuras and put different bits and pieces in that I like, but like 97% of these are all made by other people. They're in my Pastebin because it's a record for me. I'm not taking credit for it in any which way, shape or form, but there's some really talented people out there making WeakAuras. Now, you've never used WeakAuras before. How do you use them? Alright, so you've downloaded and installed WeakAuras. Come into game, press /WA. It is going to bring up this WeakAura menu here, and it's going to bring up all your sort of cross-class WeakAuras, things like dungeons, the mage tower, trinkets, and obviously the WeakAuras that are specific to that class that you are playing at the moment. When you start, you'll obviously have nothing there. So this is what the WeakAuras menu will look like. It'll have new, loaded, and a not loaded, and you won't have anything here, obviously, because you're brand new to it. What you're going to do is, there is a link to WAGO in the description, which a bunch of people make WeakAuras, and they upload them here, and you can pretty much go WeakAura shopping. If there's a WeakAura that you like, and let's just say that we've found one, and it's a survival hunter one, so I'm on my druid at the moment, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go to import here, and I'm going to paste the large string from that WAGO WeakAura. I'm going to paste it into here. What's going to come up is this survival hunter. It's going to show me what I'm getting in the import. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit import. What's going to happen is that is going to populate in here. Now it all looks like a giant clusterfuck at the moment. But if I come down and I go to survival hunter here, I can then click and move this anywhere I want. And this gives me the group of all these survival hunter WeakAuras that I'm going to need to play. Now, if this is already expanded out, so you can expand them and shrink them, but if I expand this out, and let's say I don't like where, I don't even know how to play a survival hunter, but let's say you can also hide and show these. But what I want to do is I want to click on this so it's always showing, and I'm going to move. I don't like the bar for Way of Moknath. Fucking Moknathal. I don't like where that bar is. So if I click on that, I can actually drag and move that wherever I want to. And you can do that with every single one of these icons in that WeakAura pack till you get what you want. If you decide you've imported a pack and you don't like it, all you need to do is right click on the actual pack, so the top of it, you're going to delete children and group, and it's gone. That simple. So WeakAura is really, really good to use, guys. Really great way to keep track of everything. And I'd be really lost without WeakAuras. It stops you from looking down at the bottom of your screen. You're able to position things in the middle to keep track of all your procs, your defensives. If you click on them, it doesn't do anything. If you had action bars here and you were clicking on them or accidentally clicked over them, it would obviously trigger off that ability. So that's WeakAuras, guys, and that's how it works. As I said, really simple, /WA. If you want to make things from templates, have a go at making your own. You can do it from this screen as well. Otherwise, you're just importing them, you're copy and pasting them in, and it's that simple. If you want to share some with somebody as well, all you need to actually do, so say you like the Brewmaster one, you'd right click, export to string. That'll give you a large string group to copy. You'll copy that, you'll go and paste it in Pastebin or somewhere like that, and you'll be able to share it that way as well, and other people will be able to import it. So that is how they work, guys. Now, my next bit that I'm going to lead into, which ties into WeakAuras as well, is details. So my damage and healing meters are called details. Now, I prefer these by a country fucking mile over Recount and Scarter. The reason being is that you're able to deep dive a hell of a lot more into these than you can on Scarter or Recount. So let's just say I go and I do some damage on this Raiders training dummy here. Super duper. So I've done some damage, and then I want to go and have a look at sort of how I went. So if I go Raiders Trading Dummy, which is the segment I did because my Moonfires will keep going off, and I bring this up there, if I click on it right. Alright, so that is not the one I want. This is the one I want. So I'm having a look at my damage breakdown, all that. It's the same you can do in Scarter and things like that. What you can do in details is you can check out auras, so you can see what kind of uptime your heirloom trinket had, or your mark of the heavy hide, or your concordance of the legion fall. If there's, say you're a DPS, or you're playing the same class as another tank in there, but let's just go with DPS, you're a rogue, and there's another rogue who's beating you in there. You can actually compare your results with theirs, or if there's 3 rogues or something like that, you can actually compare your details with theirs to find out where they're beating you, what higher uptimes they have, what abilities they're using more than you. So it's a really good tool to use to improve your playstyle. Now, a really good one that ties in with WeakAuras is, let's say I am doing the Mage Tower challenge, and the heirloom trinkets are so prominent in those for the tank ones because of the 10% extra damage to demons. I don't have a WeakAura for Cleansing Flame, which is the 10% buff from the Infallible Tracking Charm, which is the heirloom trinket. So I want to make one. If I go over to WeakAuras here through Auras and I click on that, this will actually make a WeakAura for me just at the click of a button. Super fucking simple. I can have it as a status bar, a text only, an icon. I can have a glow effect. I can have a sound, all of that kind of shit. If I hit create aura, that is that simple. That has made a weak aura then for the infallible tracking charm to show me when I'm getting that bonus damage to demons. So I've made that now, and now if I go and attack, you can see I get a weak aura for when it procs. So it's just procced, it's now off. So really fucking simple to use, guys, and it's such an easy way to keep track of things, to let you know maybe when you get all your procs to go off that you want to pop your trinket, or you want to pop your pot, or you want to burst or whatnot. But super simple, ties in really well from that, and that's what I love about Details. Details has a whole bunch of other things too, where you can go through and look at DPS damage taken, friendly fire, enemy damage taken, healing, HPS, overhealing, things like rage generated, runic power, all of that kind of crap, deaths, dispels, cooldowns, buff up time, debuff up time, loads of things you can do through this that you just can't do to the same extent through Scarred on Recount. So that is Details and how it ties into WeakAuras. And the very last thing that I wanted to show you or talk about when I get questions about is Alkano's buff bars. So Alkano's buff bars, you can see up here, these blue and this red. It's a bit annoying in the Dreamgrove because I've got this banner. But the debuffs here, I can move them wherever I want. So I've got these in red, and I've got my buffs in blue, and you can move them wherever you like if you want to position them over here, whatever. But it'll just give you a really neat stack of all the buffs you've got and all the debuffs you've got. Now, the command for this one is Alkano's buff bars, so it's EBB. If you type that in, you get an Alkano's buff bar menu, and you can start going through and putting headings on them, what you want to be in them, how many groups you want of them, what you want in them, and all that kind of stuff. If you want things excluded from them so your buff list doesn't grow to half the page, or half the screen, sorry, whatever you would like. But again, highly customizable, and just a really sort of neat way, I think, to put your debuffs and your buffs sort of where you can see them. One thing you will need to do is, if you've installed ElvUI and you've got Alkano's buff bars, go /EC to bring up fucking hell, I can't type it, I'm in combat because of my fucking Moonfire. Let's run away, Wayne. Okay, so if I / oh my god. This class is so fucking stupid. Alright, so I finally got out of combat after I ran half the fucking map away. So let's, what I was saying was, if you install ElvUI and you install Alkano's buff bars, you need to come to buffs and debuffs. So on the ElvUI menu /EC, bring up the buffs and debuffs. This is going to be clicked enabled. You need to deselect this, and it'll automatically reload once you've done that. It'll give you an option. If you want to do this, you have to reload. Deselect that, hit the OK on the reload, and then you'll be good to go. If you don't, what you'll have is buffs will appear here, and they will just go over the top if you've positioned there. Even if you've got them positioned down here, you'll still have buffs going over there, which is just a doubling up, and no reason to have this if you're going to have them up the top. So just something to be wary of. So that is it, guys. I think I've covered off everything fairly, hopefully streamlined without too much bullshit. Hopefully it's... I knew I would fucking forget something, and lo and behold I did. This is a question that I always get when I bring up my character profile, and everyone is like, what is that? This is called Shadow and Light. This is a plugin that's built into ElvUI. The download for this is in the description as well. When you install it, it goes under the ElvUI profile. If I bring up EC, you can see here Shadow and Light, and you've got options for that. It gives you this cool little character backdrop. It shows you what enchants people have, what enchants people are missing, what gems they have, what gems they're missing. Gives you an easy sort of inspect on the relics and things like that. I don't even know what the normal one is like anymore, but this is what I use, and I often get a lot of questions about that as well. So I wanted to make a really quick edit. If you've got any questions, if I've missed something, please hit me up in the comments. I'll do my very best to help you out, but I just wanted to try and keep it really sort of specific to what you see on screen, without sort of going too overboard. So thank you very much for taking the time to check out the video. Hopefully this gives you the answers you were looking for. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. See you guys.